Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this first webinar of this term. Um, well, for those who know me, of course you know me. For those who don't know me, I'm Cristina Juesas. I'm the PQD of the District Program Quality Director, and I'm in charge of the education program as well as the events. We are trying to focus a lot on training this year because we believe training is the basis and is one of the reasons why we are in Toastmasters. We want to progress and we want to make to build a better version of ourselves. And one of the biggest questions these days, of course, is pathways. Why pathways? Because this year is the last year that the legacy program, the old Toastmasters program, will be live. As you know, the 30th of June 2020, the legacy program will be discontinued and we will not be allowed to submit any educational um, um, uh, achievements from this program anymore. And this is one of the reasons why everybody being on pathways is so important. But of course, we also know that it's not easy for everybody to get into pathways. It's a new system, it's new for everyone. In some cases, some clubs have doubts. So this is the reason why we wanted to set up a first webinar, plain question and answer, like any question you have about pathways, about the system, about how it works, about how to get in, anything, you ask it. Gonçalo is, as you know, Division D director this year, Gonçalo Afonso, and say hello or something. And we will try to answer all your questions. If you ask something that we don't know or we don't know where to find the answer live, we will take note of your question and we will get back to you with a proper answer as soon as we can. So this said, Gonçalo, you want to add something?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. We have this challenge of having everyone on board in Pathways. And from the feedback that we got from the clubs and from the members, there are some questions, some myths, I think, some wrong ideas about pathways and challenge that we have in there that we are going to try today at least to demystify it a little bit for you. Not only probably you are here and you are already in pathways without no problem, but then you know some members from your club that are actually fighting with it. And we hope that today we get you get some tools, some ideas about how to overcome those challenges. So
That's it.
let's go with that.
Okay. So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourselves or just type the question and I will read it out loud for you.
My first question is about the integration between CC or the old CC and CL, the competent communicator and competent leadership, because one of the promise of pathways is it is now we don't have two careers, you don't have to split careers, competent communicator and competent leadership, but and then it's like the idea is to mix the two tasks or the two activities in one only career. But the reality is that you have, in fact, to achieve one of these achievements or steps. I think, in my opinion, I don't know if the feeling that I have is the quantity of CL activities is lower than the part of the competing of the part of speeches. And then is if you don't have, because then you have all the clubs, people are doing things and activities, because if you don't you don't do no, it's impossible to that the club works. But in fact, the rest of activities that in the old system you can full books of competent leadership with a lot of activities that you need to achieve this competent leadership. Uh, Although in a lot of cases people don't know that exists. At the end, they know, and then they are like motivated to do. But now, what is the motivation? When in 5 or 6, or I cannot see this motivation, or perhaps we need motivate like well, the way that the club needs to survive with activities. But for me, it's important. Well, the idea is to know that is real. That is, the question is this the reality of the pathways? Is you for to achieve one step, you need to do three activities of speeches and only one activity of other roles? This is my question. The first question. This is the proportion.
Okay. So
more or less, more or less.
Yes.
Let me just summarize it a little bit. You are just facing the challenge of not having the CL award at the moment in order to push members to fill in meeting roles and as well to do other tasks for the club. It's that
Yeah.
it? I don't know, Cristina, if you want to start. I have some ideas as well about that.
Yeah, I have some ideas here. So that is not exactly like that, Joan, because to achieve certain levels of pathways, you need to have done certain roles at club level. The thing is that the vice president of education or the secretary, who are the two only people in the club who have access to Basecamp, need to insert manually which roles have you done and the dates.
But this is for the and the dates. But this is for the, for instance, when you, I think, when
for instance, you need to be a Toastmasters of the day, and you need to be speaker. Well, a speaker is obvious, but you need to be a timer, or you need to be a counter.
But my question is, this is a question to clarify. It's not to criticize. It's just to know if I need, if for instance, the typical level is one icebreaker. Typical in the first level is one speech, repeat the speech, for instance, to hear the evaluation, integrate the evaluation. Then you are one of you need to do a fourth project doing an evaluation. But this is just this is the achievement. One
no. Yes, true. But overall, on pathways, you need. Not you, but your vice president of education or the secretary of the club. If you want to fulfill the whole path, they need to insert manually which club roles have you done.
But, and this is the part of the, and what is the, in which part needs to record these kind of things?
So it's on Basecamp. They need to go to your profile, and there you can find it.
Okay, Basecamp.
I mean, to your profile, to the profile of the member, and from the profile of the member, there you have all the information.
Okay, but this is different than, this part is different than this part that your profile, you have like 5 or 6 income. Bueno, you can put one date for instance, for a counter or for Toastmaster.
Let's say it doesn't work as it used to work before, where you had to say in which date you had achieved the one of every one of the 10 projects of the CL. Now it's a little different. Now they only want you to say when you were a Toastmaster, or when you were the accounter, or when you were the timekeeper, or when you were the table topic master.
Okay.
But there's still a place where those who have access to Basecamp, not you, of course, I mean, those who can manage it, they have to validate which club roles you did in order to get the whole path. Otherwise, you won't get the path.
So
and you have a minimum. Now, because I am not the Vice President of Education, I don't have access to Basecamp, so I can't tell you where it is exactly, but I can get back to you with a screenshot of that.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just give you as well, on top of that, some more ideas, okay? And this is really a personal opinion that I have for this regarding the CL. And this is also what I see some other clubs, at least in Division D, doing. So the CL award is going to disappear. Okay, so we know that members that complete all those tasks, all those roles, will not get the award. And sometimes it was because of the award that they were pushed to fill in those roles. I think personally, when I started in Toastmasters, it was by knowing the CL award and knowing what I need to do that motivated me to do those kind of roles. So this is the challenge that I see that we have today. How do we motivate our members to do all those roles? If you have a club that works very well, people just go to EasySpeak and they select the function that they want to do, and then the VPE adjusts what he needs, and that's all good. But the majority of the clubs, they don't have people so proactive, and the VPE needs to assign people. I think in here, it's a role of the VPE to push for that. And EasySpeak, actually, it's the best tool that we have to help us on that. Because when you select a function, you can see who did that function more time ago, or who were more recent, so you can adjust that. So you can bring that person that was Toastmaster of the day 3 months ago, and now you can push them to repeat again the role. So that's one part. And then this is what we sometimes forget when we say that the legacy program is going to finish at the end of this year. In EasySpeak, you still have the CL. So you can still ask the members to open the CL manual, fill in all the roles, and then you just come up with a special award from that club. Maybe just a recognition, and it's not official, but you can still recognize the members in the club to finish that part. This is a way to help the club, at least, to fill in the roles. On another point, for example, in the CL, one of the things that we had to do in order to finish, we had to be mentors. The truth is that not everyone is meant to be a mentor, okay? And sometimes you should be a mentor after a long time. In CL, you can just do it very, very quickly. I think today, what Pathways has better than the legacy program is now the mentorship path that we have at level 3 in Pathways. It brings more more value to the function of mentor, and the detail that you need to put into it, it's for me with much more quality comparing to what we had in CL. So it's a mix. For me, Pathways is an improvement regarding what we had in CL. We still need to be proactive and choose the functions and complete all those that we had in CL award. But if all that fails, the clubs can still use the CL. It's not official, but they have a tool in EasySpeak in order to track it down, and then award something for the members. Hope that helps.
Thank you. I have a second question about how, because sometimes it perhaps not the attitude is what more than the attitude is. I forgive sometimes, and when I pass to push to put my evaluation into the system and this kind of thing. And I see that Pathways is not a push system. It's because you need to remember. Is that true? You need to remember that you need to do these kind of things. In fact, to remind sometimes, for instance, comparison, because I know that I cannot compare, but between Team Club or Easy Speak and Easy Speak have a lot of mails, automatic mails that you reminding some task that you need to do. And in the case of Pathways, you don't have those kind of things. My question is just this work in this way? Pathways work. You need to be aware and be aware that you need to put your recognition, your things, the feedback of another people, or to be more with more conscience or more awareness about the system. Is this my question? Is this because I think I have this feeling? I don't know if this is the reality of the system. If this is the reality, no problem. I will do.
So just regarding notifications, EasySpeak works the same way as it was working with the legacy program, even with Pathways. So it depends on what the VP triggers. It reminds the evaluators, it reminds the speakers or the Toastmaster of what they need to do for that meeting. So that is still working, just a matter of pushing the button and sending the reminders. Then Cristina, you want to?
Yes, so in your Basecamp profile, in the main, let's say the main window, you have 5 different buttons that are in big in blue. The first one is navigating Basecamp. The second one is your education transcript, whatever it is. You might have 1 path, 2, 3, whatever. The third one is feedback. The fifth is my badges, and the fourth is my badges, and the fifth is speech evaluations, where you can find evaluations of all the projects, all the paths, etc. If you click on my feedback, this is where you can request feedback from others, and it will be totally online. So there is no need anymore. You can do this from the cell phone. So there is no need anymore for people giving you paper evaluations in the club. They can do it from here. So you can request for the evaluation to all the members in your club before you give actually a speech. Another option, this is what I do sometimes, is that when I come home after a club meeting where I've given a speech, I scan all the evaluations on a PDF file or a JPG file, and I upload them from here straight. So I have all the evaluations from all my speeches. Everything is online. I don't have them in paper anymore.
Okay, thank you.
For me, it's an improvement that we still get the evaluations on paper. Before we had a binder where we stored the evaluations. Now we can have a binder and upload it online to review it later.
Okay, I don't have more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Does anyone have more questions here? Who wants to go? Okay, so to say something. So I know that in Spanish, we have some documents. For instance, it's like a frequent questions that Diego Alonso did last year. I don't know if this document, all of you have it. maybe for Portuguese clubs, I can hand it to someone in Portugal who can translate it to Portuguese. Would you like to have some of these help documents translated into Spanish and Portuguese? Is the website enough?
I looked at it and I can understand it at least.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean,
even the title of the document is Perguntas de uso frequente. So
yeah.
For Portuguese. So, I think we can just share it and.
Yeah, and then the screenshots are in English, of course. So.
I think also some of the challenge that I have heard from people doing the legacy program was about they were used to have the physical manuals, and now they need to go to a platform and check it online. And I think it's a bit tricky to be so mind narrowed on that, because even for the majority of the people that were doing advanced manuals, most of them were just using PDFs. So they always had electronic version of the manual. And with Pathways, we can still print the contents of what we do. And we can even go a step further, which is instead of purchasing the pass via Basecamp, they can purchase the printed manuals as well. It's a bit expensive. Okay, it's more than double the price. I think it's $45 US, comparing to $20 for the pass. But it's still possible. So the reason about not having the printed manuals dies a bit there in there, because they are still available. Another point, just getting here the message. Any questions?
I have a question.
Good.
Hello.
Okay.
I've been checking, and I want to, because I just see something that somebody requests a feedback from his speech, requests me a feedback, and I just saw it because I didn't know that it was possible to how I could see it. So I just saw that this guy asked me as a request feedback from his speech that he gave on the 29th of July. So I think he put that on that day. Is there any way that the system send me an email or something that telling me somebody's asking for your feedback?
I believe it's because of your settings.
Exactly that. So in my settings,
You
I can say that.
You need to go to your account.
Uh-huh.
Ah, see, I found where you can say when you were an accounter or a timer. Now can tell you, Joan. So when you're on Pathways, you have like a year close to your profile picture where it says your account.
Yes.
There you can find the time zone, the selected signature for whatever you do here, and then the dates.
I see.
Okay, let's go.
So, but I am not allowed to put, because I'm not BPE, of course, but I'm not. Am I allowed to put the date that I did the accountant role?
I believe you are.
And then who's going to check this? The
probably,
BP has to confirm
probably
that?
They have to confirm it, yes.
So it's our responsibility to notify, or at least to put here when we have performed these roles.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and also perhaps there should be a way that the system tells me, hey, somebody's asking for your request, for your feedback. Because it's like, now I'm ashamed with this guy that asked me for feedback and I didn't reply, and I don't remember.
Yeah, and you probably don't remember anymore what you have to say. So I am checking now the information of my own profile, and I don't see where I can turn the notifications on. So this is something that I will take note. Requests, feedback, notifications, and I will send this to Toastmasters International, because
it will be a good idea.
it's something that they might have it. I just don't know where to find it. And if they don't have it, I find it useful to have it.
Of course, yeah.
So everybody can choose their own in their own settings, whether they want to receive emails or be notified in other way, or not be notified at all, and that's it.
I don't think we have now the possibility to receive these kind of notifications.
Yeah, then it's a good thing to have it. For instance, I know when I was a VP Education last year, when a member submits a path for a level for approval, yes, you get an email, but you should be getting emails when you requested feedback. So.
And even when people give you some badges as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Feedback and badges. True. Yeah, that's a nice thing to suggest then.
It's a nice way of the way that, so we have the possibility to submit our evaluations, and we print it, we scan it and we send it, but we have as well this feedback thing, which is different. When a member requests the feedback through Basecamp, he can say to which people from the club they want to ask the feedback, and it's kind of a forum. So you get the request from the person asking for the feedback, and then you have all the other people inside of that request giving their own feedback. So you can see what others said as well, and not only you that requested the feedback, but as everyone in the club or inside that request can see each other's response. So it's actually very nice to do a collaborative feedback.
Yes. Okay, so I have to write an apology.
Blame Basecamp, blame Basecamp.
But lesson learned is important.
Send him an email or something. I'm sorry, I just saw this.
Yeah.
In fact, it has a lot more utilities and a lot more features than we believe. We probably need just to, get in from time to time. The thing is that we have a video tutorial for everything, and that's like too much.
Cristina, I see you in the call that we have as well some former ambassadors and the pathway guides. Let's ask them what were the challenges and what are the challenges that they see today with the adoption.
Well, I was a Pathways ambassador myself. I believe you were too, right?
No. But
okay. So the thing is that we didn't have access to Pathways before the rest of the people. And we had to be ambassadors and guides without having any type of information. Just a couple of screenshots and that was basically it. So when Pathways came, it was new for us as well. As new as for the rest. And that was a problem everywhere, not just in Iberia, but also around Europe and other regions.
And I don't know if everyone has this notion that, so we have Pathways, which is the program, all the manuals, etc. And we have Basecamp, which is the tool where we run Pathways. What happened was that Toastmasters, they purchase a platform, or they are using a platform where they are building Basecamp on top of that. And I think since we started in our region until very recently, they were not paying much attention to it, or at least they were collecting the feedback, and now they are making some improvements to the tool. So my expectation is that in the following months and years, we'll see these two becoming better based on the feedback that we give. But we need to give them the feedback. So we need to have this kind of discussions and then escalate these the way that Cristina is doing, like, for example, asking for the notifications. It's the only way that they know that something is not well for us. So,
well, the thing is that they, as you well said, they hired a company for developing these pathways, Basecamp and pathways. And when they released pathways in the first region, the company crashed. Which means they didn't have support for anything at all anymore. And they had to hire people that now belong to Toastmasters International, and they are the developers of everything. But right now, as you can see, it's a little better than it was last year, and they are improving things, let's say, every month. The thing is that, of course, we need to give them feedback because it is new for everyone.
Yeah.
So things like, yeah, this is not useful. Now everything opens in a new window. Some months ago, everything was a pop-up, and that was a complete mess. You had to change the settings in your navigator and everything. But now that's improved. I believe in this sense, Toastmasters International is listening to what we say, because at the end of the day, it's we who are using the platform and the programs and getting to know everything.
In my case, so I'm still doing the legacy program, but when it came out Pathways, I completed at least the level 1. And the big thing that I was not, I'm a pretty flexible guy, but the only thing that was not so happy with it was that in the past, so when I was doing, for example, an ACS or an ACG, I had 2 advanced manuals to choose from, and I had the possibility to jump from one speech in one manual to another speech in the next month to the different manual. So I could jump back and forth. And we didn't have this possibility in Pathways. We had to do one level each time, and we could only launch a project each time as well. And now all the projects all the levels are visible in Basecamp, and as well the projects. So it means that you can now do a project which is in a level more advanced. The only thing that you need to make sure is that you submit the level by the order, which for me makes as well a lot of sense. And yeah, for me now, it's not perfect, but at least it fills all my holes, at least.
There is one question that somebody was asking before by WhatsApp that I want to answer here in the video because it's been recorded, so they can watch it later on. And it's about the return policy. So if you get a path and you are not happy with it, you have 30 days to exchange it. You go to your Club Central. From there, you can change it. But make sure that the money will not be refunded. You have to choose a different path, but that's it. So you can only do this once, meaning that you can't get a path, be not happy with it, change it, and then the second path you're not happy with it, and then change it until you finish the 11 path. It's just, you're just allowed to do it once, but you can do it.
And the one thing that I wrote, yes, you can have a question too.
Hi, I'm Esther from ADP Barcelona Toastmasters Club. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm the new VP of the club since July, but you know, because we are corporate club, so basically after holidays we just started in like end of September basically again. And myself, I'm also a very beginner in pathway, so I just completed so basically I chose my path. That's what I did, and I looked around a little bit that at least I can help to guide the others a little bit. And one thing that I don't know, one of our members completed the first path, I think it's called, so like not the full pathway, but the first pass of the pathway.
Level?
I have to, or first level, and I have to validate it somehow. So it's like she has to request me to validate it, and then I have to validate it or confirm.
Yes.
Or I can go and do it, or this has to...
You have to do two things.
Yeah.
Okay, so when someone finishes any level of pathways, they have to complete it. It's like pushing a button in your track, and it says you need to push it in order for you to request the validation of your VP education. When this happens, what I did last year is I asked the people in my club to tell me, just in case, it's good to know that they have submitted the level. So I get into my pathways, I go into Basecamp as the VP education, because when you're the VP education, as you know, you can log in into pathways or as a member or as the admin of Basecamp.
The manager, no?
Yeah, the manager of Basecamp. You log in as a manager and you will have the requests. So you, if everything's okay, you accept it, and then they can move on to the next level. But besides doing this, you need to go to Club Central and submit the award for this member.
Club Central and submit an award.
Yeah, so you log in into your account
in toastmasters.org.
In toastmasters.org.
Yes.
You log in, you click on top of the page, there's a text saying welcome, Esther. Yeah. And when you click there, this will lead you to your profile, and below your picture, you should have a button saying Club Central. Okay.
Yeah, Club Center, I think I've been there already as VP membership, like the same place where we would add the new member. No.
Okay, so you go to Club. You go in the first part of Club Central. You have Club Membership. At Membership, submit Education Awards. So you click there, and you will have they will have you choose from the members of the club. You choose the member, and then you choose the award. You say Pathways level number 1 or whatever.
Okay.
But you have to do the two things, because if you validate the path on Basecamp, but you don't do this submission of the Education Awards, Toastmasters International won't know that your club has education achievement. So this is crucial to do.
I see. So in this case, it's just an online award, no virtual. So
yeah. So when you do it, when you submit this education award, you will be notified as well as the member, and they will receive the diploma, just a certificate.
Online also, everything, yeah.
They can download it, they can print it, they can do anything they want, but it's a digital file.
The VP also has access in the Basecamp to the diploma and the certificate, and can print it, and some clubs, they present that on the next meeting to the member.
Okay. So maybe we can print it and give it, like, instead of the ribbon.
Yeah.
I see.
You still have the pins as well, and then we have the tags for the levels, so we can as well have that.
Okay. By the way, you mentioned this is being recorded and it will be shared somewhere later where we can watch it?
Yes, we will probably upload it to the website, to the social networks of Toastmasters Iberia. Yeah.
So toastmastersiberia.org?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know where would be like this I don't know, shared place where would be able
the
to
intention,
go.
because this is the first webinar, as you know.
Okay.
So the intention is to do more than one, of course, hopefully one a month or 2 webinars a month. And we will have an educational corner where you will be able to find all the webinars on any topic, etc.
Okay, and I have just one more question, because I'm a little bit struggling with the fact that my handover was, let's say, was not super complete. So is there any document besides this PDF document that everybody knows what are the roles and responsibilities of the VP, for example, in pathways, or what you have to do in EasySpeak exactly? Because it's not very detailed, that document, actually. Or do you think it has all the tasks that I have to be aware of and there is nothing more?
Well, we have of course, it's open to everybody. So we have, I am going to share it with you via the chat.
Okay.
This is a WhatsApp group called Soporte EasySpeak, but in fact we talk about everything. This is a chat, well, it's open to everyone. It was created because EasySpeak was a problem for a lot of people, but now basically they talk about anything related to club IT issues like Basecamp or Pathways or, well, you can find help from a lot of people here. Basically from VP Education, presidents, etc. So you're very welcome to join.
So there is nothing like a document which is listing the task to really know everything.
There are a lot of documents always.
Let's leave Alba to explain this.
I only know this, like, I don't know, 60 pages PDF where it's described all the roles of the board. But I don't know if is there anything else that I can access on the website, Toastmasters Iberia?
Yes, and I'm going to. This is much shorter.
Alba, do you want to say something about it?
It's in 2 paragraphs.
Yes, I was going to say that we have somebody in our division is from the club HP, and he's finished the fifth level, and he's an expert in pathways. So he offers to answer questions and to help us with everything. So I can give you, Esther, you are from Division B, right? You said that you're so I can give you his details. He gave us at the court, he gave us a training in pathways. I don't know if you were there in July.
No, in July I couldn't be there. No, I was not there.
Okay, because he gave useful information. Also, we sent to everybody all the, because he gave us a PDF file with all the steps and everything. So.
I didn't see that. No, I haven't.
Well, we distributed to everyone, so your president might have it, so you can ask her.
Okay.
I've added here to the comments as well the webinar that we did a few months ago, but it's in Portuguese, if it's not a problem for you. You also have that information about Basecamp management.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
More questions? Come on. Well, another thing that not really related with Pathways itself, but because of the end of Pathways, is regarding the current members doing the legacy program that cannot do, for example, the DTM, cannot finish the DTM this year. It's good that you know that Toastmasters gave the option for a member that is a club coach. In this case, it does not need to be a district officer for 1 year, so they get the equivalent by just being a club coach. And if you do have members in that situation where this club coaching thing can work, best way to do it is to contact Sara Magalhães, because she has a list of clubs that needs club coaches, and you can just use this for them to quickly finish their program, and with that becoming distinguished Toastmasters.
True. Thank you, Gonçalo. For this, I will invite you all to attend a workshop I will be doing in Malaga about coaches, mentors, and sponsors.
Also, it's about the HPL. In the divisions, we as division directors, we have many opportunities for members to do HPLs, high performance leadership. So if you have as well members in this situation that they just need an HPL to finish the ALS, just let us know, and we can give work and be creative and finding opportunities for HPLs as well.
So they have to contact you, Gonçalo?
If they are from Division D, yes. If they are from
okay,
Division
no,
D,
okay. So from our division, from Division B?
For example, just what we are doing. So everything that we need to organize this year, so the TLIs, the contests, the corporate summits, all these kind of things that can be HPLs. So it helps us. So we have people that are leading that for us, and it helps them because they can do an HPL based on that.
Great, thank you. Yes.
Sorry, one question that you just mentioned, corporate summit. Is that I don't know what it relates to, but is it something specific to corporate clubs, or it's something different?
It's an event, a demo session, kind of a demo session that we do at least once a year to invite companies that do not have a Toastmasters club yet, in order for them to discover the master program. And from that we get the leads. That's mostly how we reach companies like yours in order for them to create the program in their companies.
Okay, I understand.
So it's not meant for Toastmasters. It's meant for people that are not Toastmasters, especially in companies with 100 or more employees.
Okay, thank you.
I believe Sara can say something more about corporate summits here.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So corporate summits, it's like a special event where you can show what are the benefits of Toastmasters to companies. You invite all the companies in a geographical area that you know the responsible people, and try to get them engaged with the concept and involved in building clubs in their own company. It's a place where we show the products, let's say that way, the services we have to offer, and it can be the start of a beautiful relationship and end up with a club. So this year we predict 5 corporate summits in Iberia. One of them will be in Madrid, other in Bilbao. We also are expecting one in Malaga. Also, maybe Alba can say a little more about this, but in Barcelona and in Lisbon. So these are the corporate summits we are expecting.
Yeah, thank you, Sara.
Thank you. No question. We thought that there were so many questions about pathways. After all, there are no questions. Huh? Everyone is happy.
People are shy.
They can write. It's easier. We just
True.
talk about it. They shouldn't be shy. Well, we are all shy. This is why we are Toastmasters, right? So that we need to fight it back. Okay.
Well, we can do a recap if not, because we're 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will, because we know that there are still questions, even if they're not in this group today, but there are a lot of questions in the air. Open to answer any question at any time. Please feel free to get in touch with me. You have my details on the Toastmasters Siberia website. You can reach out to me also for concerns, or if you want me to notify Toastmasters International about something like a request, as we saw before in the case of Alba, that she wants notifications for some things, and I believe they would be useful. So in some cases, it's the members who find the problems and things on the way, who are, while they are using the tools, who should, well, let us know. Tell the people in your clubs and spread the voice about we willing to help, not just, well, in my case, me, but of course, the division directors, the area directors are here to support you with any doubts you have. We will make sure that pathways is main topic, or at least a hot topic, in all of the trainings that we have during this year, in Malaga Summit, in your next COTs, to TLIs to be done between the 1st of November and the 28th of February. And yeah, let us know if you have more questions, if you want us to do something more specific about Basecamp. I am Cristina Juesas. PQD. That is PQD. District 107. That's my email. But if not, this email is also on the Toastmasters Siberia website, so it's pretty easy to find me. Gonçalo, you want to say something to close?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for the questions that we had and for your
attention.
I think it was very important, and I think we should do this more often. Every time we have this kind of questions, and we learn a lot by doing this kind of things. So even for me, I have learned something here today as well, based on your feedback. So yeah, that's it, and let's move this adoption to 100%. I would expect that we don't reach it at the end of the year, because that time will be natural that everyone is on pathways, but at least until April, before the next renewal,
yes,
everyone on board. And also we reduce the time that it takes for a new member to choose a pass. Nowadays, it's, for some cases, it's too long. I see clubs that it takes more than 1 month for a new member to choose a pass. It should be quicker. So let's work on that. We are going to go back to the clubs and make questions. We have some reports that show us what is the adoption rate. It starts with the officers. We have many clubs that the officers are not entirely in pathways, and it's the officers that drive this adoption to the members. So we are going to start in that. So expect some more feedback from us, and some more questions, in this case from our side, just to understand what we need to do to help you to achieve 100%.
Thank you, Gonçalo.
Thank you.
Okay. my friends. So if you don't have any more questions, I believe we can say goodbye. And I hope to see you soon. If you have any requests for doing webinars on any other topic, not just pathways, but any other topic, let us know. And we will try to find a good people that can lead and host the webinar for you. Even if we need to find someone from another district or from another region, that would not be that would not be a problem, hopefully. But we will try to find a good trainer for you. So thank you very much. Thank you for attending, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.